bitch. It's not a competition, it's a cooperation. Stupid ass house, nigga. Survive.
What's up? So the AI thumbnail pretty much describes kind of the topic. Try to see if I can get a couple games in today. Topic is relationship talk has been pushed to the limits. I mean, basically, what more can you talk about? Okay. What more can be said about relationships, about, basically Keisha, the problems the black man dealing with Keisha, you know what I'm saying, in America? What more can be said, man, about that? What more can you do? What? I mean, here's the thing. If you making money off of it, I'm not knocking the hustle. I get it. I want you to make your paper. I'm not one of those individuals that I'm a hater. You know what I'm saying? If you making your money, I'm not jealous. Okay. I know it's working for you. I wish you the best. But I'm gonna just say it like this, right? I really don't have, and I said this kind of like the start of this year. I really don't have too much else to say about relationships. One of the things that I did this year differently than last year was I'm not trying to talk about relationships over and over again. Okay, yeah, I'll talk. I kind of have no choice in that matter on Saturdays. If I do my Sex Saturday shows, I mean, it's going to kind of go into that realm, but I really don't have that much to say. On a PhD level to just grade school level, as far as the relationship problems in America, the black community relationship problems, all of that type of stuff, man. Me personally, I'll just speak for myself. I have nothing else really to say more and to expound upon. Don't have anything else to really add to the discussion. Other than one of the things I will note is if your parents didn't have a good relationship. If you didn't have a good relationship, as far as your parents weren't in the household, it's a chance if your mom and dad had a toxic relationship. Even if you had your mom and dad in the house, if you didn't have your mom and dad in the house, of course you're gonna that is probably most likely the reason why you had relationship issues or are having relationship issues. If your mom and dad was in the house and their relationship was very toxic, I want to even say violent, you probably gonna have some relationship issues. Just probably the reason why you have relationship issues, because you didn't see your mom and dad as an example of a relationship, how it's supposed to work and all of that. So you grow up and you have the same problems or worse problems or similar problems. That's kind of the theme that I noticed. If you probably seen somebody and if they got some relationship issues, if you ask them, okay, how was your mom and dad's relationship? They gonna tell you, yeah, my mom and dad, man, they was cussing each other out, man. My daddy was throwing bottles at my mother. My mama pulled a shotgun on my daddy. because she caught him cheating and all that type of stuff, man. It's like, people are not perfect, so nobody's perfect. So technically, nobody had like a perfect relationship. But I mean, the thing is that if you think that having a toxic relationship is normal, chances are that's what you saw growing up. You saw your mom and dad having some type of toxic relationship, and you saw others having that type of relationship, and that's what you think is okay. That's what you think is common, and I'm gonna tell you that's not common. That's not supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Your parents are not supposed to have a toxic relationship. I mean, that's the reason why people get divorced. That's the reason why also people get divorced when their kids are small, because you don't want your kids to see you arguing, or even worse, with their mother. You don't want to let your kids see that. So in order to sacrifice your children not seeing your daddy and your mama having WWE in the kitchen, y'all go y'all separate ways. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's that's without being said, that's probably the reason why you have a relationship issue. That's the reason why a lot of people have relationship issues in America. It's probably not even in America. I mean, that's worldwide, but the thing is this. It's not really nothing I can pretty expound upon as far as any relationship issues. It's like that I can add to this discussion, and it's nothing more I can say other than, if you're having problems with relationships, such as you're not able to get a woman in America to like you or deal with you as a man, you know what you got to do. If you're older than 21 years old, 25, whatever, you know what you have to do in that scenario. Okay, you have the options to do multitudes of things, and you know what you could do. You have the options to do those things. Now, I'm not gonna expound upon those options or nothing like that. You know as a man what you could do. And I don't recommend you be no simp. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be no simp over abroad. That's not one of the options that I say that if I had to expound upon anything to not do, is don't jag off, don't be a simp. Okay? So that's just what I would say. Those two things I don't recommend. Okay? But as an adult, you know what options you could do. Where that's gonna lead, I mean, that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna do probably some kind of like Nostradamus type prophetic kind of just like futuristic kind of thoughts about what will be, as far as certain things that will happen in the future, what will happen. Like, I'm gonna just kind of give my like kind of prophetic idea as far as what will happen, as far as what will dating be like in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, type of thing. And just for purposes of my own enjoyment. I mean, for the most part, I did one on birth control, the future of male. Like, what if there is like male birth control? I think it did pretty well as far as views. I don't really get that many views. I think it did fairly well as far as I can tell. I think it did fairly well. Like fairly well for me is like anything over 50. So I might do some kind of futuristic thoughts about what will be the future of dating and stuff like that. But as far as me personally, on a day-to-day basis, I have no desire to add anything else to the discussion as far as like relationship talk, none of that. I mean, I'll definitely still talk about the simps and all of that, but I have no desire to add any discussions about relationships. And the reason being is I think I think people have too much concern about relationships and not enough concern about financial freedom. Like it's too many people that are struggling financially to be worrying about like relationships, worrying about if a chick like you or not. I just definitely think that it's like more concerning things to worry about or concern yourself about than relationships. I mean, if you got a little money, I mean, no matter if you got a little money or quite a bit of money, you know what to do to get a woman. Men have been basically um, dealing with or getting with women for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, it is not nothing new that I can tell you that you don't already know that your grandfather didn't already have to deal with and all of that type of stuff. Like you already know what to do. I mean, push come to shove, all of the options that you know to deal with, you know what to do. But here's the thing that is like what's more important in my opinion than worrying about relationships. And here's the funny thing about like, okay, let's just go right into it. Sex, right? Getting a woman to want to be able to deal with you on a short term or long term basis sexually. You know what improves that outcome? I'm not saying okay, if you challenge, okay, if you're challenged looks wise, challenged like weight wise, where it's like you're over 250 pounds and you also have facial um you're not pleasing to the eye of women, right? Well, you gonna have to pick one of the two. You know, it's much better that you be physically fit and muscle bound, primarily just very highly muscular, a very good shape, than to be both unattractive and also fat. I mean, you have to pick your struggle. Like you don't want both struggles. Like if you got both of those struggles, obviously that is one of the major reasons why not really hitting on much on the women's side of the game. And you already know that. People have probably told you that. Your friends probably told you that. Ron Wheels told you that. I mean, a whole bunch of people done told you that. If you don't deal with those issues, you're not going to be able to attract women. I'm gonna tell you a story, and I'm gonna get back to what this this picture here is. I remember when I was working security. I was in my late 20s. I was going through a lot. I was broke as hell. I think I was making like $7 an hour working security, unarmed security. And I was like over 300 pounds. I was like 300 plus pounds. And I was not holding it well. And I remember basically getting a job working at UPS, and I just dropped like 40 pounds within like months. I'm talking about like after about 4 or 5 months, I went from like 300 pounds to like 260 pounds. And I was like a whole new person. Like it was like the movie, Nutty Professor. Like, I mean, I slimmed down because working at UPS is like very intense. It's a workout. Like, you moving packages, you gotta move them really fast because it's timed. That the trailer, it's a time event where the trailer is just gonna take off, and you gotta move those packages out of those trailers, and you gotta do them really, really fast. So it's the job in itself is a sweat workout, right? So I lost a lot of weight doing that. And I remember losing the weight and being able to attract women naturally, and this was like in my mid 20s. And I remember being able to do that versus not being able to do it, being overweight. Being overweight is not attractive. So right there, that's something that you could do right there that you could work on that will help you attract more women if you are having issues right there. And I know it's hard to do. It's a mental thing because losing weight is the opposite of gaining weight. You get pleasure from eating. You get pleasure from inactivity, right? Not working out, not being physically, active. It's pleasurable doing that. But the opposite of that is actually doing physical activity like walking, then later jogging, and then running, and then also being very conscious about what you eat. And then also again, it's very beneficial that you take some type of aid. Like what I mean is like something to help you, because diet and exercise, usually you've heard this probably before, it doesn't really work for a lot of people. What I will say is having some type of health aid, like taking some herbs. I have my Slim Tea on my website, alsherbs.com. That definitely helps. I've used it myself and I've gotten some pretty good results. And the thing is like rich people, again, that's what I'm talking about, trying to enrich yourself, trying to make some money, trying to become wealthy for you and your family, right? Well, rich people, you know what they're using? They're using something called Ozempic. And the Ozempic is like, man, they turning these people into like, they getting so skinny that they're turning into fucking skeletons. Because the Ozempic works really, really well. Now, if you're not rich or you don't have a lot of money, you can't afford no fucking Ozempic. just can't afford that shit. That shit is expensive as hell, and the stock is expensive as hell too. You've already missed the opportunity to buy that stock at a discount. I mean, it's a lot cheaper than Bitcoin, but it's skyrocketed in price, and it's probably gaining. I haven't looked at it in a while, the company that makes it and all of that, but you could definitely look at that. But the thing is that you gotta do something. You can't just fucking expect the world and you're a fat ass. You just can't expect that shit, man. I mean, if I had if I had to tell my son, if he came to me and was like, he was fat, I'd have to tell him the same damn thing. The cold hard truth. You gotta lose weight, son. Nobody, you think women want somebody fat? The only time that you can probably get a woman being fat as hell if there is a famine. Because they're gonna probably be looking at you like, damn, they're probably trying to eat you. One, two, they're gonna be like, how the fuck did you achieve that? How are you must got some food supplies somewhere. Everybody else starving. Here you are, fat as hell. That's the only way you're gonna probably be able to get a woman, if being a fat fuck is during a famine or worse, some type of apocalyptic event. But then you're gonna have other problems because again, people gonna be trying to eat you because you're fat as hell. You got a lot of fucking gristle on your body. So anyway, yeah, you got to do certain things, man, to attract women. One of those things, a lot of times, men have too much, just too overweight. And the same thing with women, but women don't care. And I'm not saying get skinny to get a fat woman. Hell no. You're not gonna probably want to get no fat woman if you lost a whole bunch of weight. That's just a given. You're not gonna reward a woman that's fat, while you took the necessary precautions and put up a lot of willpower and strength to lose weight and keep it off. You're not gonna want to do that. But certainly you being fat, of course you're gonna do a fat woman because you're gonna be like, okay, I'm already, like that. And you're not gonna be happy because that's not gonna be somebody you want to be with. Unless y'all both together try to lose weight. So anyway, it's again, it's not really much I can say anymore about this topic personally. I don't really have much to say as far as relationships. What I can say again is, and that goes for even the people that talk about men that talk about relationships, like that's goofy as hell. That's even more goofy. You talking about other men that are talking about relationships, kind of making fun of them and shit. Like that's pretty lame. It doesn't get no more lame than that. Because I would say at least the guys that are talking about relationships and them having the problem as far as dealing with women in America, black women in America, and all the problems and issues with dating them. At least they talking about it. They have some valid points and issues, but talking about them in the sense of berating them or critiquing them, that's pretty lame. And the reason being is because one, they're already pretty much kind of losing in the dating market. Okay, they're telling you, okay, I'm losing in the dating market. Talking about them losing in the dating market is not necessarily, it's like kind of like being in high school. It's like some high school behavior, like making fun of the kids at the lunch table that don't get that much successes with women. It's like, okay, well, um, okay, what are you doing? It's not like people in high school. Like in high school, you can see everything. The kids, the dudes that can get women, you can see they get women. The dudes, okay, imagine dudes talking about the dudes that can't get women, and then they not even showing that they getting women. They're not showing any women they getting with. What's going on? What's going on, broski? So yeah, it's like, okay, that's lame as well. That's pretty lame. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't, I to be honest, I know why people do that. That's because, see, here's the thing. The people that do that, the reason why they do it is all based off of money. Mostly everything is based off of money. The reason why they make fun of the dudes that talk about relationships is because some of them dudes, a small percentage of them, do make a decent amount of money talking about women in America, black women in America. They do make some money. so the guys that's really talking about them, you know what I'm saying, shaming them or whatever, they not making no money. I can see it. I'm on the internet damn near every day. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying, and then I'll just show me where they making a whole bunch of money, and then show me, you know what I'm saying, where all of these, successes is. Okay, as far as they're getting successes with women, like where's the happy marriages that they have, children from those marriages, happy family, like where's the happy wives and all of that shit, like the happy dudes and the happy wives and the children and shit. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying, like it's none of that. So I mean, the thing is that I don't got nothing against anybody, but both parties, both sides. I mean, I don't really, like I say, I don't have nothing to say too much about no relationships, you know what I'm saying, and all of that type of stuff. Everything that I pretty much heard, I've heard already. Everything that's been talked about already has been talked about. Black people in America have more serious issues. And here's the funny thing. Again, most people that's complaining about anybody is broke. Let me repeat myself. Most people that are complaining about anybody is broke. That is a hardcore fact. Now, there are some outliers as far as like people that have highly amounts of income. They may have a certain bit of social awkwardness. They might have some social issues as far as dealing with women. Okay, I'll give those. But outside of that, the most common person struggling, trying to make it on both parties, the people that make fun of the people that just primarily talk about relationship talks or black women, and then the parties on the other side that just talk about black women mostly. Mainly both sides of these camps are broke. They're not rich. They're not getting rich. It's a small percentage of people that primarily talk about black women that make a little bit of money. Very few are, you quote unquote, rich. There's very few people that are pretty much like financially successful and wealthy, that primarily their content is mainly about black women. Very, very few. The most notable persons that did that pretty much passed away, and that was Kevin Samuels. Okay, he made a lot of money as far as kind of pretty much pointing out the social issues of black women in America, the modern woman, and all of that type of stuff. He passed away. Outside of that, even when he was going on, it was people complaining about him because he was making so much money doing it, and they weren't making no money. So it's not it's not a lot of people, man, in this like manosphere or podcast niche that's making any fucking money enough to where they're rich. Only like either the people. Okay, Kevin pretty much died. Tommy got kicked off of YouTube. He tries to creep back in and then creep back out, but he was making money. He was definitely making money. So it's not that many people, man, that is really making that much money, man, from this type of like social problems of dating and mating in America, black women problem, type of niche or whatever. It's not that many people, man, making any serious amounts of money. When I talk about serious amount of money, Alonzo, he worked in Wall Street. I'm talking about millions of dollars, like millions, like, or at least close to it. Very few people are making that in this whole, if you just encompass everybody that talks about relationship talk and all of that, very few of them make that amount of money. Very few. You could probably count them. You probably can count them on your tippy toes as far as the people that make serious amounts of money. And definitely the anti-relationship people definitely ain't making no money. Because most of those people, you got to understand, it's a difference between people that rally around you because they want to be the cool guys, but those guys don't even support. Those guys they don't send any contributions or nothing at all. Because I watch both parties. I watch the anti-relationship, camp and the relationship camp. If I had to choose one side to make a living, to make any money, to survive, I would have to choose the relationship guys, because the anti-relationship guys definitely ain't making no goddamn money. Because it's just a bunch of hard legs that literally is just really not, they just trying to, basically kind of have some type of cool guy clique, but they're not even supporting. And those guys bounce around other channels and stuff like that, and they don't support the people that they go in the chat room and all of that. They just basically a lot of people on YouTube are just bouncing around seeing who survives, but they're not supporting. They might support certain individuals and stuff like that, but hardly few are supportive of the anti-relationship camp. They're not supporting them dudes. That the money that you could make from being an anti-relationship guy would be the equivalent of maybe getting a 40 ounce at the liquor store a couple times a month. If you want to call that support or something to make a living off of YouTube off of, be my guest. you better off talking about Keisha and all the problems that deals with that than being an anti-relationship or anti-Keisha content strategy or whatever. I mean, it's just I just call it how it is. I don't care either way. I'm just saying, I'm looking at it from a perspective of there's a bigger problem here. So, and actually, this is the funny thing about this problem, addressing it, you actually address the issue. Because the more money you got, shit, hell, Keisha got to work somewhere too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you gonna support bad behavior. I'm not for. I don't. I don't recommend you support people's bad behavior. But when you have money, you are whoever has the cash is the king. So when you have the cash, when you got the money, you have way more options. You know what I'm saying? Than someone that doesn't have that much money. Okay, that is a fact. So this right here, in my opinion, the 7 levels of financial freedom is way more important than fucking relationship talk. Have you ever drove around the average black community? What does it look like? And then here's the thing: I'm gonna point something out to you. I'm gonna show you an experiment. I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna show you an experiment. Okay, I'm gonna put up city data. I'm gonna show you something. If you wanna avoid a bad neighborhood, I'm gonna show you how to do it. I'm gonna show you what you can look up in a zip code. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cheat a little bit because I know the good neighborhoods versus the bad neighborhoods. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the western suburbs of Chicago. So first of all, I'm gonna go to Naperville. It's a city called Naperville. It's so popular that Indians in India know about Naperville because it's a lot of Indians that live in Naperville. One of my managers, he lived in Naperville. So I'm going to show you some key statistics that kind of make a difference as far as like when you look at certain things. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to look up marriage statistics. I'm gonna go right to first marriage stats. And again, this is how you can kind of like pinpoint better neighborhoods. It's like one key factor into how you can kind of tell if the neighborhood is decent or not. Okay, so I found the sweet spot right here. I found what I was looking for. So you can see this city is only 3.8% of household with unmarried partners. The whole state is 6.3. Okay, 3.8%. And now, just to put things in perspective, Naperville is basically a kind of like upper class city. Okay, so I'm going to open up another window, and I'm going to show you Maywood. Now, Maywood is right on the edge of the west side of Chicago. And just to put things in perspective, Maywood is like the Dalton of the west side. So Dalton, Illinois is where the city mayor, the city girl mayor, and all that. That's where I grew up and all of that. Like basically, it's on the fringes of Chicago. It's on the edge of Chicago. So it borders Riverdale, but you can literally from Dalton, you can walk to Chicago. It's about 5 miles from Chicago. Less than 5 miles actually, but about 5 miles. It's like a 5K, right? A little 5K, right? So Maywood is very much like that. It's like it's very similar to how Dalton is because it's so close to Chicago as well, but it's like a suburb, still a suburb, predominantly black. Okay, um, and basically is on the edge, the fringes of the west side of Chicago. So let me put up, let me put in Maywood. It's like some experimental shit. You know what I'm saying? We'll go back down to same thing. Go to the unmarried stats. Okay, let's see if I can find it. It seems different than let me see here. So basically, I'm trying to look for the same type of like map, the percentages, but it looks different than the other one. But let me see if I can find that. For some reason, it got this chart here, and then Naperville got a different chart. It's weird. So it's an average household size. Let me go here. So fine. Let's see here. So this seems to have some different stats. But it says basically let me see here. I don't know why this does this. Let me see if I can find another demographic site. Cause I don't want to have skewed results. I want to have very thorough results. I don't want to be biased. All right, let me look up something here. I don't want to have any biased results. Yeah. Still looking. Oh. Some of these websites, they charge you. Let me see if I can see data. Okay, moving.com. Okay, let me try this one. Okay, let's see here. This is kind of skewed. I don't really like this. I need to see the percentage. But I'm going somewhere. You know where I'm going. I'm basically correlating the divorce. Basically, it's something to do with marriages, unmarried communities that are of a higher percentage. It's something correlated with that, with neighborhoods that are like not really doing well. Like it's, something to do with violent crime, something to do with like things such as housing values, all of that type of stuff. Okay. All right. So this website, okay, I think I might be getting somewhere with this one. This might even be better than City Data. All right, let me see here. This is pretty decent, but I'm looking for population and stuff like diversity. Looking for marriage statistics. Age and sex. Okay, let's see. Social. I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there. It should be easy to just come up with that come up with that information. Poverty rate. They don't have the marriage rate. Add comparison. Add comparison. Let me see if I can find something else. Let me see. Got the census. Okay. I'm getting somewhere. All topics. Family and living arrangements. Let's see here. Households. Yeah, it's not what I'm looking for. This is crazy. Crazy. Population characteristics, population, married. Looking for marriage information. Income and poverty. No, that's not giving me that. Neighborhood scout. Okay. You gonna figure this shit out, man. We're gonna, I'm pretty confident I already kind of know I'm right, but I need evidence. I need to show some, kind of like more information to support my inclination. Oh my God. Economics and demographics. Let's see here. Oh my God. Shit. That's crazy. That is wild. That is so wild. Okay, this just tell you general information. It don't tell you like okay, damn. Well, I guess I had to go with city data because that's the only one that's giving the information that I need. So, all right. So let me see here. I might have to just kind of siphon this data myself. All right, so let's go to this data Maywood, man. I know people from Maywood it's like not too thrilled about this shit. But I'm trying to get somewhere here. It's a method to my madness. I already kind of put that out there. All right. So let's make this shorter. All right. So the percentage we got 44.8%. 44.8. So we're gonna round that to 45%. Not married. Okay. 45% not married. Not or never married. Never married. Okay. We got 2.7 separated, so we're gonna round that to 3%. So we got 3% separated. We ain't gonna count widow. Divorce 9%. That's gonna be just kind of like a mean that we're not gonna even include the widowed. So we're gonna put in. All right, so to round everything up, okay, Maywood, Illinois. So we looking at basically 52% not married. Not married. Okay. So we got 52% not married. So now I gotta find the same data for Naperville. See if I can find the same data. Okay, so I found it. I was able to find it. I just wasn't looking at the right place. So now I'm gonna go to Naperville. All right. So, okay. Again, another thing is, Maywood is 38% married. 38% married. Okay. Okay, so 38% married and 52% non-married. And you could do this, you could do this yourself. Like you could look it up and see if if it correlates. But basically this is what I'm looking at. So look, this is what you see, okay? So, and that's not including the people that are widowed. Again, we're not including the widowed. So this is Maywood here. 38% married, 52% non-married. Okay, now let's break down Naperville. And then after I break down the demographics on married versus non-married, I'm going to look at the crime and all of that other stuff. Okay. So, and then the demographics, you can look at the race and all that. If you're from Illinois, you already know Naperville. You already know, most likely. Naperville is 63% married. Almost damn near double the margin of what Maywood is. And basically got 1% separated. So that's like basically 20 to add to never marry, which is 26%. So that's like 27%. We're not going to count widowed. So basically we looking at 30 32%. No, 20, no, 33%. Not married. Not married. Before we put this in here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Before I do that, and then and let me put this statistic right here. Let me put this see, it's more important. It's more important things than relationships and relationship talk that I agree people more or less need to talk about. They need to talk about these things. Okay. All right. They need to talk. The problem is it's more of a problem with money. I'm not gonna say if you got a whole bunch of money, Keisha gonna get in line or any other woman is gonna get in line. That's not what I'm saying. But the money does help you in many regards to move certain places where marriage is more promoted and more profound, let's just say. So okay, all right, so let me put this data in here, add this banner. All right, so we already got Maywood, so let's go into Maywood. So now let's go into the nitty gritty. Okay. And then also just to keep, a good idea of what a community looks like is to look at its real estate. Okay. We're going to look up Maywood, Illinois. Okay. And we're going to look at the best of Maywood. And then we're going to look at the best of Naperville. We're not going to even look at the bad. We're going to look at the real estate first. So you can get a good picture of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to put highest price. And then I'm just going to put houses, not any multifamilies, not any commercial properties. So this is like the best Maywood has to offer. Okay, a map. Okay, let's open this up. It's $429,000. This is like kind of like a multi-unit building. This already has a map so you can get an idea of where Maywood is. All right, so let's look at this map. So you can see in the greater Chicagoland area where Maywood is. So Maywood is next to Oak Park, which it borders the west side of Chicago. So literally when I say Maywood is like Dalton, I'm not kidding. And the west side of Chicago is very rough. To keep that in mind. I'm gonna show, like, a lot of people associated pimping and a lot of different gangs and stuff and selling drugs and all that. That's on the south side too. But the west side is notorious for pimping. You ever heard of Bishop Don Magic Wand, the pimp Bishop Don Magic Wand? He hails from the west side of Chicago. Right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, at this very moment, people always say, yeah, you got to go to Vegas to get a prostitute or whatever. You could literally go right on Madison. Right now on the west side of Chicago, you can get some street hooker action anytime a night, right there. Now that ain't what you want. It's some nasty shit. You don't want that nasty shit. I'm not gonna say it's like the quality of fucking Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. Keep that in mind as well. But the thing is that that's where he's from the west side, and this is the neighboring suburb of the west side of Chicago. It neighbors Forest Park and Oak Park. So I just to keep that in mind, let me zoom out of this map, go back to this house. Okay. Um, so anyway, this is just to let me go back to all of the other houses to kind of give you just a browse through what you got looking for. So it's like, it's costly to me, but to other people it's not that costly. But according to real estate prices, this is as correct as it's going to be. The west side is very close to the downtown area. It's very close. So okay, now again, let me get out of here and go back to the demographics. This is just a case study. I have not left the conversation as far as relationship talk has been pushed to limits. It's basically more important things to talk about. It's more important issues. Okay, such as basically why it's a thing when it comes to money. It's a correlation here. So let me move this over. Okay, we got this here. Maywood is 58% married, 52% not married. Okay. All right. So let me go to the nitty gritty. So what are the main things people are concerned about? Crime, right? So and also poverty. Let's talk about I call it the three horsemen of societal collapse: unemployment, poverty, and crime. Okay, so let's go right to that. All right, so let's go right to let's start with whatever we can start with, and then let's first talk about the demographics. Maywood is 58% Black, 31% Hispanic, 5.6% white. Okay, Asian 1%. Okay, had quite a few murders in 2020, which is the last part of this data. We're gonna just go right into crime. You're gonna just go right into the crime stats. So, okay, before we go there, unemployment in Maywood is 6.3. The Illinois average is 4.2, so it's relatively high. Okay, 6.3 unemployment. Illinois as a whole, as the state, is 4.2. Okay, so there you go with the unemployment. Very, pretty much higher than the state average. So a lot of unemployed individuals. That's not good. So we're looking at unemployment, poverty levels, and crime. We already got the unemployment. We already got the okay, now this is what I was looking for. It has the unmarried households, unmarried partners. The whole state is 6.4. Maywood is 1% is higher than the whole state. Is very high. Naperville is I think 3%. Okay, so that was what I was looking for. I was going all over the place. It was right there. So let's go down. Let's go down. So we already looked at unemployment. We looking for poverty rates and the crime stats. Okay. Let's see. Might have already passed it. Might have already passed it, but I'm not quite sure. Okay, it might have already passed it. So anyway, let me go back up, see if I can find what I was looking for. Looking for crime stat. Also, I guess this is the crime stats that they're giving. Okay, so okay. I guess you got to click on it. The crime rate in Maywood is higher than 96.7 of U.S. cities. So it's basically higher than most cities. Okay. All right. So it's pretty high. So it got a pretty high crime rate. Okay, so the next data I'm looking for is poverty. People in poverty. The poverty rate should be by very close to the unemployment rate. So it might be, I might have already passed it because I'm moving kind of fast. Yeah, I don't see anything that says anything about poverty. But I guess they just got unemployment. So, but let me see if I can find that data because it should be here under like people that work. But I got other like websites. So let me put in Maywood that will give me the poverty rate because I think they was giving me that, but I was having problems getting the other data as far as marriage. So let me see here. Okay, so this is a side by side of Maryville and Naperville. All right, so the poverty rate in Naperville is 3.97%. The poverty rate in Maywood is 14.7%. Okay. This is why relationship talk is more in depth, let's just say, of things that need to be talked about. Okay. So let me go back to Naperville and let me show you their unemployment rates and their demographics and stuff like that so you can kind of see a difference, and then I'm going to show you the real estate, show you the money. Okay, so Naperville is 61% white, 21% Asian. Now the reason why it's 21% Asians, you don't know, but I do. Well, the reason why this is normally a demographic of 21.6% Asian is not normal. It's a lot of Indians, Pakistanis and Indians live in Naperville, they are considered Asians. That's the reason why this demographic is so high. Indians in India and Pakistan, they know about Naperville, Illinois. Like if I went over to India right now, if I traveled to India right now, they would know what Naperville is because they got a lot of family that live in Naperville. Okay, so Hispanic is 6.6%, blacks is 5.9%. Okay, so basically, when it comes to crime, let's look up crime statistics. It's very much green. It says it's 37% higher than the U.S. average. Okay. The crime stats for Maywood was 97% higher. Okay. This is like green, which is like, okay, cool or whatever. Okay. Versus like, Maywood was in the red. All right. So we talked about crime. So now we already gave the poverty rate. So what else is unemployment? Let's go to unemployment. Unemployment 3.1%. Okay, versus national average of 4.2. Maywood was like, it's like 7%, or no, like, what was Maywood with their crime? I mean, with their unemployment rate. Their unemployment is 6.3%. So you can see, like, basically there is a contrast. What's the contrast? Definitely, I mean, it's a racial demographic difference, but also one of the other indicators is there are primarily married. The married rate is way different, almost double to twice as married as people in Maryville. Now, I mean, not Maryville, Maywood. So these are the highest price homes, like $1 million homes, 4.5. So the property values is like 10 times higher. Okay. I mean, this is a lavish mansion, of course, but you can see totally difference. So, okay, I guess, okay, the thing is that, I guess, I mean, if you can't find a black woman, I mean, you got to get with a what? White woman or Asian woman. I that's the only contrast I could say as far as the nuances. I mean, I can't see any other differences to bring about. I mean, if you can't get a black woman, you got to get an Asian or a fucking a white chick or a Latina. I mean, that's the only. But you definitely got to get married. That's definitely the contrast. That's the nuance. That's the you better probably live in a neighborhood that is a high population that is of married people. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's the contrast and in the nuances that I can see from this, this experiment that I just did. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is totally different lifestyles, almost like living in fantasy dreamland versus, Maywood is all right. Don't get me wrong. If I had to choose Gary, Indiana over Maywood, I would leave right now. Shit, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'll be up out of here. Me and my cat. So don't get me wrong, Maywood is still not bad. Okay. It's right by fucking downtown. It's extremely close to downtown. And also in the western suburbs is pretty popular, and it's technically in the western suburbs. So again, this is the differences, the stark contrast differences is married versus non-married. So that's what that's the differences. That's what's going on. I mean, you can hate the messenger, but the message is still going to remain. It is what it is. A lot of people are having problem getting married and staying married and having healthy marriages. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, in my media man voice, that's the problem. You motherfuckers are not getting married and staying married, for whatever reason. All right, so I'm gonna play a game of chess, man. See, hopefully, I win. So we'll see what happens here. So we playing somebody from America Samoa. America Samoa. So he gunning for that side. I'm gonna just go to my my queen. I'm gonna castle on the queen side. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My practice has been paying off. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. So I basically got a knight, basically a bishop, rook checkmate. His he had nowhere to go. He had nowhere to go. I mean, either way, cause see, you think he could pull his pawn up, but he doesn't only have the pawn to worry about. If it was just the pawn to worry about, first of all, he wouldn't be in check. And basically, if he was like right here, he could have moved up. But he had too many opposition facing him. He had the bishop that had him pretty much cornered in right here that he didn't consider. And then I dropped that's why when I saw the bishop was in a way, see, this is why it's important to advance your bishops. See, his bishop pretty much like blocked his rook from having a clear passage because he hasn't advanced all his pieces. Typical rookie mistake. So because he didn't do that, so I basically did this and checkmated him because he couldn't advance his rook to basically take me. So I saw that. I saw it was an opportunity, and then I took his rook. I doubled up on my rooks. So I took his, and then boom, got the checkmate. So anyway, it's late at night. I'm about to close this one on out. I ain't really got much to talk about as far as no relationships, man. I'll talk about it on Saturdays at best, on my sex Saturdays. But I mean, the thing is, like, I hope if you don't get anything from this, man, it's more. Oh, I forgot to mention also. Wait, before I go, I gotta mention the 7 levels of financial freedom. Okay. Let me actually put mine because I got something else going. All right, so this is more, bigger. It's more kind of bigger. You can see it. So number one step is you figured out where you are financially and where you want to go. Okay. The thing is that I have a book that helps you with that, and it's called the Millionaire Savings Plan. Okay. I'm I'm in this to win this. Okay. So self-sufficiency. You've moved out of mom and dad's and can cover your expenses. That's number 2. Number 3 is breathing room. You're saving some money and no longer living paycheck to paycheck. Number 3. And when I'm reading this, I want you to figure out, where are you at on this 7 levels of financial freedom? And then this is what I want you to ask whoever you're listening to. I want you to, I don't know, share this and ask your favorite content creator, where are you at, sir, on your 7 levels of financial freedom? Mr. Relationship talk, Mr. Anti-relationship talk. Where are you at on your 7 levels of financial freedom? And I'll tell you where I'm at once I get done reading this. I want you to ask your favorite content creators, where are you at on your 7 levels of financial freedom? Yeah, I want you to say it just like that, like you're, a teacher trying to teach kindergartners in kindergarten class. Just like that. Ask them just like that. So number 4 is stability. You have no bad debt and 6 months worth of expenses for emergencies. Flexibility. Number 5, you have at least 2 years of expenses saved. You could take a year off work. Financial independence. You can live off the income your investments generate. Number 6. And final, number 7. Number 6 was financial independence. Number 5 was flexibility. And number 7 is abundant wealth. Money isn't a concern. You have more than you'll ever need. Number 7. Okay, where am I at? I'm pretty much on at least number 5, sir. Yes, I'm sitting in 2 years of expenses, literally talking to you on this fine YouTube. Yes, my home, pretty much fully repaired is worth, double or if not most of what I make normally in a 2-year span. I'm sitting in it. And if you combine my income with my assets, basically, yes, I'm on number 5, sir, ma'am. Yes. Thank you for asking. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. That's the question that I'm going to ask you. Sir, ma'am, where are you at on this? I have this chart here. I'm pretty sure it's very, very important. Where are you at on 7 levels of financial freedom? You're Black too, just like me, sir. I don't know if you've driven around a lot of Black communities. Have you noticed the comparisons? You see liquor bottles, you see trash around, see people walking around aimlessly, looking like they're struggling, sir or ma'am. So I just have a question. Where are you at on this 7 levels of financial freedom? Oh, I don't want to talk about my personal life. God damn it. I can't fucking win to say fucking hell. I can't win, man. I'm broke, sir. That's what I am. That's what they go say, man. See, you can't, it's an old saying. You can't bullshit a bullshitter.